Hello, everybody. Ella J here on behalf of SEScoops, and today I am joined by your reigning and defending TBS champion, Jade Cargill. Jade, how are you today?
I'm doing great. How are you doing, LJ?
I'm fantastic to be speaking with you today. Obviously, we have a huge weekend coming up for Double or Nothing, but I wanted to obviously congratulate you on recently surpassing 500 days as TBS champion. So, to kind of reflect on that for a minute, how do you think that you have grown as a woman and a performer since winning your first title in professional wrestling?
Um, just more awareness and just being more confident and being more secure and just going out there and owning what I do and who I am.
Yeah, it's funny too because obviously, you didn't come from a wrestling background, and you've said before that you've been kind of winging it and learning as you go, and you've done it with ease, which not a lot of people can do, I feel. So you've had opportunities to wrestle some veterans in the industry who you've gotten to learn things from. So I'm curious, has there been any person that you've worked with that you've learned something from or taken away when working with some of those more experienced talents?
Believe it or not, I've only worked with about five veterans. It's kind of mind blowing. I would say I took back a lot from Athena.
Yes.
I took a lot back from Athena. That match with her was very hard hitting and like emotional match. The storyline was very long. That's one person I learned a lot from as far as ring awareness. Madison, I learned a lot from Madison as well. Nyla Rose, I mean, I learned a lot. I actually loosened up a little bit more around Nyla Rose because she's such a comic relief. So I was able to show like I was trying not to. It's hard to describe what I was trying to do, but she's just so goofy and funny and serious at the same time. So I had to find that in between point of like not being punked out and like not letting her make a fool out of out of me because she stole my belt. So I had to figure out things like that. But I learned a lot, I would say the most from Athena and just being a heavy hitter and just going in and knocking people's faces off.
Yeah, and obviously one of those veteran performers that you have wrestled before and will be wrestling this weekend is Taya Valkyrie. She has about 13 years of
Uh,
experience under her belt. I know
uh,
obviously there's a lot of tension, but I will say ahead of your match, Taya said some pretty nice things about you recently where she praised your passion,
yes, she.
she did. She praised your passion, your determination, and your athleticism. So maybe begrudgingly to you, to return the favor, what are some aspects about Taya that you maybe admire or like?
She's well traveled. She's a hard hitter and she's passionate, very passionate, very aware of where to go, where to be. Um, it's so much I've learned from Taya as well. I mean, I guess. But no, she's phenomenal. Just her experience speaks before. I honestly, before I even had a match with her, I had so many people in the locker room that were just telling me, she's phenomenal. I haven't heard one negative thing about Taya since she stepped foot at AEW. And even before she even came into AEW, I've never heard not one person say anything negative about her. All I hear is that she works hard, she's passionate, she loves the sport, and I should be very grateful to work with her. But I'm like, no, she should be grateful to work with me. But I should be very grateful to work for her because she's great.
Yeah, and I am so excited to see this great matchup coming up at AEW Double or Nothing. You will be defending your TBS championship against Taya there, but the last time that we saw you two square off at the end of April, Taya was banned from using her finisher, the Road to
Wait.
Valhalla.
That's my finisher. It's mine.
Jaded, Road to Valhalla, it is, you know?
Wh- this is the thing. So I know this isn't a question, but I'm gonna say this.
Yeah.
Yes, she used it before I even was interested in wrestling. Yes. We've had a phenomenal woman who was the master of this move. That's great. I love it. But here at AEW, this is my move. This is my finisher. And the fact that she can come in, I don't care where she's been at, and think she can use my finisher on my stage on my show, that's just wild. And for our fan base to even say, well, she's been using it long, who cares? Well, she can go use that finisher somewhere else where she was before and not here. Because I refuse to let that happen. So it's just mind-boggling to me that people even sit back and fix their lips to say that, oh, well, she's been using it longer. Who cares? We're at AEW. This is my show. I have the belt, and we play by my rules. So I say that to say it's my finisher, and Road to Whatever does not exist at AEW.
So let's say theoretically Jaded was banned and kind of the roles were reversed. How do you think you would finish off an opponent like Taya?
Probably with the pump kick. Something hard hitting. We're both super powerhouses, but luckily I got here first, so I wouldn't even know how to answer that correctly. She should have beat me to the punch. Sorry.
That's a fair point. And, looking ahead, facing Taya, you are on the cusp of raising your record to 6-0. So let's say you do defeat Taya, which you very likely will, my friend. What is kind of next for you? How are you hoping to sort of level up even more after that?
You know what's wild? Out of all the women of AEW, I can say I am the most homegrown.
Yes.
So is Anna Jay. So is Julia Hart. We literally only have stepped foot on the AEW stage. I had my first match ever at AEW. Anna Jay had her first match ever at AEW. Same thing with Julia Hart. I think that could be what's next for me. Even though I'm on my own island, I'm doing my thing, I'm in Jade first, and that's great. But it's time for me to have some good, like some new competition. I think a lot of women's time as far as being on the main page is over. I think I'm ready for that. I've been ready for it. I know, and I welcome challenges. That's what's next for me.
Yeah, and you have been successful in every challenge that has presented in front of you. I know, assuming again you hold on to the TBS Championship coming out of Double or Nothing, which, like I said, you likely will. A lot of fans have been yearning to see you face off with someone who's been on the shelf for a little bit, but her recent Instagram posts have shown that she's just about as jacked as you, and that's
No, oh, I already know who this is about. No, she's not. No, she's not. She's not at all. And I think fans like just want to believe in something because they want me to lose so damn bad. But I mean, that's Glass Woman. If we're talking sports right now, what coach is gonna put a player in that just came back with no type of practice, with no type of game? You're just gonna throw it in there and swim? That's wild to me. That's just crazy. So I'm not worried about that. I'll let her get some reps up and then she can come see me on my time. I'm just so tired of all these women thinking that they can just step to me and ask for a match. I'm just over it. It's all on my time. I've been here for so long. I think I deserve that type of respect. And I'm just gonna have to get Mark in line about that.
Let's say she is granted a match, and for those who don't know who we're talking about Kris Statlander. What are your thoughts on a potential match with her, assuming it gets approved and everything?
Let me think about it. I don't want to hurt her. I don't want to hurt her. No, I would rather let me see what she could do. Let me see if she's worthy because I think she needs to get her endurance back. And we can go from there. And let's just make it a good match. Like, let's make it a good match. Let me give her time, like give her get her agility up, like get her mind together. And then, she can go talk to Mark. And Mark can figure out if it's worth it, if it's a money match or if it's not a money match. Right now, I think the upper card is money matches. That's where I want to be at. So we'll see.
I'm curious from your perspective, talking about this upper card, who, obviously besides yourself, who do you see sitting at the top of the upper card? Who do you think is on that tier?
Um, Jamie Hayter's at the top. She's at the top. I mean, everybody that's in the main card feud right now. Jamie Hayter, Saraya, Toni Storm, already beat Ruby Soho. And then we have Britt Baker. I think that I would blow the lid off of it. I'm different. I'm a huge switch up. people wouldn't see that. I mean, they should see it coming, but it's, I think it'd be something totally different. And I can add a total spice to everything that's going on up there. And I doubt anybody will argue that. You wouldn't know where I would go. I mean, I'm homegrown, but I'm not embraced by homegrown. I'm an entertainer. I'm a wrestler, but I'm an entertainer. So, I mean, where do I fit? Where do I go? There's so much mystery in that I can do a little bit of everything. I'm so good, I'm bad. Am I good or am I bad? Which one? Like it's great. I love it.
You're both, you're like you're a bad bitch, but you're also really good in the ring, so we're talking about all of your success. Obviously though, like we mentioned, a lot of it has been winging it, which you've done with ease, but that can probably present some challenges along the way, which you've overcome. So what would you say are maybe some of the biggest challenges that you've faced so far, and how did you cope with or approach them?
Not being so hard on myself and giving myself grace. And that's something I've said frequently in interviews, is just not being hard on myself, and knowing that I'm being compared to women who have done this for so darn long, who can figure out what works and what doesn't work. I go on TV and it has to work. It has to work. Everything I do has to work. So I try to give myself grace. So now I'm just at a peak that I don't care what people think. Like, I work hard, regardless if you see it or not. I don't have to show you shit. I don't have to, you know I work hard. Obviously, just by looking at me, I know what hard work is. So just giving myself grace and not being hard on myself, and not letting people like to compare me to so many women. If it's not this person is this person, if it's not this person is that person. And it's like, I'm my own person. Like, I am my own person. I love that about myself. So I give myself grace to not beat myself up about like doing this and doing that, and knowing that only way I'm going is up. I'm going to continue to grow. I'm going to continue to get better. I've only had 59 reps ever
I
in
know.
wrestling, and that's wild. That's so wild. So just imagine 500, imagine 400, imagine 300. And I'm on TV doing this, raw TV doing this. So it's like, just give myself grace, and taking it slow, and just knowing that I'm great, and nobody's going to tell me what I am, what I can do, and where I'll be.
And that's amazing, the success you've had. Like you said, you've only had like 59 reps and you've already grown so much. But kind of reeling it back to your early days in the sports, like we said, you didn't really come from an extensive wrestling background when you first joined AEW. So if you can recall, think back to your early days in training, or maybe even leading up to your debut, what did you originally envision your wrestling career looking like? Or what did you initially hope to accomplish during the early days of your career at the very beginning?
Nothing that I was set up for, nothing at all. I didn't know where I was going to be. I knew I stood out. I know that everybody's seen my hard work. I know that I have a different look than a lot of women in wrestling. I had no idea where I was going to be. I thought, coming into wrestling, I was going to be a good guy. Thought I was going to be a good guy.
I can't
Last
even
minute
imagine
change.
that now.
Yeah, I know, right? And so it's just wild to me. I didn't know where I was going to be. I just knew that I knew what hard work was, and I would speak to Mark Henry, and he would breathe life into me and my friends who I met at my tryout. We all still like keep in contact and see how each other are doing all the time, regardless of what company we're in. And I just know that I wanted to be great, and wherever I was placed, I was going to work hard. Whether I started off as a valet, whether I started off as a face, or whatever was thrown my way, I was just like, okay, you've been prepping for this, and you're going to go out there and you're going to kill it. So when I was told what I was going to do, I just like, all right, let's do it. Let's do it. Like, I believe that God would never give me anything I couldn't handle. So I was like, I'm just going to go out here and do the best I can.
And the best you've been doing is been phenomenal, Jade. So that's something to be super, super proud of. It's crazy to even think of envisioning you as a good guy now that you've just
I know,
naturally
but you
conformed
know
into
what?
like a heel.
You know what? This is the thing. People try to, am I really a bad woman? Because yeah, I got Mark. Yeah, I got my baddie. Yes, like I'm overly confident, but is that a bad thing? Is that a bad thing to be overly confident? Is it a bad thing to own who you are, who you know, what your worth is? Is that a bad thing? Because if you look, Taya came to me. She came to me, just like everybody else. They come to me. I never knock it. Only person I probably knocked at their door was my first match. That's it. Other than that, everybody comes to me. So am I really the bad person when people interrupt what I'm doing?
I don't think so.
Probably not. I don't think so. I think I just defend myself. And I don't let people think because of the years I have in wrestling that I'm gonna let somebody just showboat me and show up. Like, no, no. I know who I am. I'm very confident, regardless of what I've done in wrestling and how long I've been in wrestling. I'm not gonna let you come here and think you run anything. And that's the battle that I'm having right now with Taya. She came in using my move, and I don't care if you're experienced, but this is my company. Not that doesn't make me a bad guy if you ask me. I'm just myself. I'm literally Jade Cargill on my own island doing my own thing, and people like to mess with me.
And I have to say, obviously, a lot of your presentation with your character is also your ring gear. You've blended a lot of pop culture references from anime and cosplay and Marvel. So I'm curious, where is your eye wandering right now that you think might translate into a future ring gear? Is there a certain character you might be looking to embody next?
I am. I can't disclose what it is, but it's going to be really exciting. Not this weekend, though. Not this weekend. I have something
Okay.
totally personal for this entrance and my ring gear this time round. So I'm really excited to show everyone and the fans. But I'm excited for my next cosplay, and I think everybody will be, and I think the DC universe will be. So just get ready for it.
Okay, okay. And lastly, kind of in the same realm as ring gear and fashion, you recently attended the 2023 Black Music Honors, donning a beautiful white dress. Can you tell us more about your experience at the show and some of the performances you saw?
It was great. You know what? Just to be around people who just embody the Black culture and have done so much in the community. It was I couldn't believe I was there. It's one thing to watch it, but it's another thing to actually be there. I met Missy Elliott, super nice woman. I can't think of the woman from SWV, and I listen to SWV. And just to have them understand what AEW was a big deal for me because the majority of people didn't know anything about AEW. Obviously they know of other wrestling companies, but when I had the belt and I spoke about our company very highly, they were interested. They were like, wow, like this is cool. Like you wrestle? Like everybody on the red carpet, when they found out I was a wrestler, they could not believe it because I didn't have the belt at first. So when they seen the belt, they were like, no way you wrestle. No way. And I'm like, yeah, I wrestle. And actually, I'm undefeated. And actually, I'm a champion. And they were blown away. And that started a whole nother conversation. I gained so many relationships and so many friendships that since that red carpet, and people just wanted to watch and support what I'm doing. It was just phenomenal to be in a room full of successful people. Anthony Hamilton, Robin Thicke was there performing. I mean, his outfit was crazy, beautiful. You'll see. But it was just great. Like I had a great time. Just representing our company and walking that carpet and being amongst successful people.
I think that's a real testament to your star power. The fact that they didn't even know you were, or like could tell you were a wrestler. You're just a star in general, I think. So that's an
They didn't
amazing
know. And some
feat.
people knew. Some people knew, but the majority, like, because we're in two different bubbles, right? So when they found out I was wrestling, it was just mind blowing to them, and they just wanted to know more and more and more and more and more. And we sat at one point, we almost missed the award show because we are talking so much about it. And I was like, we gotta go. Like, this is my first one. I want to go. Can we please go? So we got up and left. It was great.
Yeah, and Jade, obviously that was a huge experience for you, but now you pivot towards AEW Double or Nothing, where you will be defending your TBS championship against Taya Valkyrie on Sunday, May 28th. Jade, thank you so much for joining here with me here today, and we're looking forward to this entire pay-per-view and of course the TBS championship match.
And being 60-0, let's go.
Let's go, baby.